Our guest tonight to help us celebrate Women's History Month is a distinguished facilitator and leadership development expert. She specializes in meeting facilitation, strategic planning, and leadership development. She is also a host of the Sages Among Us radio program on KVMR, and she is very much a sage herself. Please help me welcome Lori Burkhardt Frank to our program. Welcome, Lori.
Well, thanks, Lynn, for having me.
Nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you, so it's a pleasure to meet you in person.
It is great to be here. I love what you're doing up here.
Thank you. Well, we love what you're doing because when I look back on your CV, you came from evolving and developing a family business to be wildly successful, and you kind of took that and ran with it and applied it in other ways that weren't necessarily related to the family business, as I understand it. But it seems to have given you the experience and the confidence to do what you really love to do, which is connect people and organizations.
You said that so perfectly. That is exactly true.
Yeah, so you kind of tapped into that throughout your experience and then sort of ran with it, as I understand it.
I did. I was in business. That's what I studied in the Bay Area. And then I did work for government. I worked at NASA Ames Research Center for a while because business was not doing it for me. It was successful, but wasn't happy. And I wanted to work with volunteers, people who did things not for money, but because they had a passion. And when my husband and I moved up here 29 years ago this month, I was ready to do something different.
So you worked up here for United Way, yes?
Yes, I did.
And then for social services here with the 211 program, correct? But it seems to me that the crown in the jewel, in your crown is the Nevada County Community Leadership Program, which is currently
we fondly call that NCCLI because it's such a mouthful, but Nevada County Community Leadership Program, and it changed my life. And
in what way?
Because when I took that course, I wanted to be anchored in the local community, and I was working for United Way. I had an invitation to join. It's 1 day a month for 10 months where we learn about different sectors of the community. And at that point, I thought I had a pretty good handle on things. I just saw things from the way I'd been trained, which was more from a business perspective. And once I learned about the arts and how important it is to the health of the community, once I learned about how important it is to have a local hospital and how important it is to have health and human services, and all of these aspects are very critical to a healthy community that I had fallen in love with. I loved our community, but it helped me understand how important like local media. Boy, to have local media, what we have here.
Thank you.
Yes, it's so critical, and not every community gets to say that. So I was part of that class over 20 years ago, and then there was an opportunity to facilitate it in 2008. And
You've been doing it ever since.
Ever since. I just love it.
And I'm sure every class, if I can call them that, is a different dynamic and different people and different interests.
Yeah, what we do, and it's a whole steering committee of community organizations that brought this together, and I facilitate it. But every year we put out applications. It's a lot to ask people to give up a whole day a month, September through June, except for December. And we try to make sure that the class has a variety of people from a variety of different sectors. And every class is amazing because when people are willing to invest that kind of time, they're all different. But I've never had a class that I said, oh, this one doesn't.
Yeah, loser.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's amazing, and every person that comes through is amazing. And I just feel so thrilled to realize not only when I started facilitating did we have amazing leaders, but every year we have young people come in and that are either been here for their whole life and have come back, or who have just moved to this community, and we continue to have the best leaders in this community.
Can you see the actual impact after these people graduate, so to speak, from the program? Can you see the actual impact of what that investment pays off?
Oftentimes the focus is, we get to learn about these different sectors, which is so critical. But I also trained as a life coach, and I am a facilitator. I love equally that opportunity for these people to get to spend time with each other and connect beyond saying hello at the grocery store or sitting watching their kids play soccer or something. And to see those relationships build and people who normally wouldn't necessarily have a reason to connect with someone in a completely different sector. Right. Yes, I can see. One year we had somebody from the Arts Council, and we had folks from the police department, and they were talking about challenges with some areas where kids were loitering. And it was so interesting to have an arts person say, in England, there's a study where if they play classical music, it's no fun hanging out and causing trouble.
Right.
So I don't know
the cross-feeding of interests
that was just an opportunity to share ideas.
Right.
And that's what happens all the time. And then years afterwards, because we still get together with the alumni.
Oh, I love it.
And people are always happy to come out and connect.
Well, I think that programs like this really create the glue in a community, really kind of creates that interweaving.
It is, because people are completely committed to what they do, and they're committed to their neighborhoods and their churches and their kids' schools. But again, it's hard for us to make time to spend time with folks that don't intersect in that way, and so this is an opportunity. So it enhances the glue.
Yeah,
I mean, we have the glue, but it's a little bit more.
Little hot glue.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Happy Women's History Month to you.
And
you
happy
seem to be
Women's History Month
a great
to you
example
too, Lynn.
of that. And if I take anything away from this, I think that you are a motivator and a mobilizer and a connector. Seems to me that is what you really at the heart of all of this do.
Well, thank you.
So well for our community.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining us. It was great to meet you.